Good morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful faces, beautiful souls. My talk is about self-love. It's your one true love. Just think about it. Who is the one person that's with you when you take your first breath? And that one person who is with you when you take your final breath? Yourself. So be your own best friend. Be your own best friend. So, what is self-love? Well, let's start with what self-love is not. Self-love is not selfishness or ego indulgence. The ego is rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of missing out, lack mentality, scarcity mentality, fear of rejection by someone, an individual, a group, your peers, your family, your tribe. So anything based on fear is not what we're looking for today. Self-love is being your own best friend, treating yourself with compassion, with kindness, with understanding, and with forgiveness. Self-love is something you're born with. Think about it. A baby is not hesitant to advocate for itself. It cries when it's uncomfortable in any way. It is not shy to let you know. And it doesn't care what mom or dad is busy with at the time. Jesus said, as Diana read, love your neighbor as yourself. This assumes self-love. If you don't have the self-love, you've got nothing to give to your neighbor. So, if self-love is so natural, how did we lose it? Well, we lose it gradually by interacting with others. We tend to accept, here's a quote. The quote is, we tend to accept the reality we are presented with. That's by Soren Haig. We tend to accept the reality we are presented with. We're presented with this alternative reality, alternative from our self-love, by our parents, our siblings, our teachers, our classmates, our pastors, our coaches, our bosses. The sources of that are unlimited. But negative dialogue eventually becomes our own self-talk, and that's when it's the most damaging, when we're telling it to our own selves. So when you see yourself in the mirror, one of the songs, Karen's song, talked about, looking at herself in the mirror and her butt and thighs and all that. And so when you see yourself in the mirror, like a full-length mirror, what thoughts go through your mind? Right? You think things like, I'm not blank enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not smart enough, not talented enough, whatever. Or I'm too something, too much something, too fat, too slow, too whatever. So where did these thoughts come from? They came from someone who was told that they are inadequate. And we talked about what those sources are. They were told they were inadequate, so they passed that on to us. It's called passing on the chain of pain. That's what Abraham Hicks used to call it, passing on the chain of pain, because they don't know any better. And when you're looking in the mirror, who are you comparing yourself to anyway? And why? And what makes you believe that they're any better than you are? Because you are the best you there will ever be. And there will never be another one. So be yourself. And that was the habit of negative talk. So, okay. So, how do you recognize self-love? Some of the characteristics of self-love: resilience, the ability to confront challenges and be able to deal with them. Improved health, both mental and physical. Better immune function. Self-respect, the ability to set healthy boundaries. The ability to say no to others when it's appropriate for you. The ability to say yes to yourself with good self-care. In the airline pre-flight instructions, well, they tell you, when the mask drops, put your own on first before trying to help anyone else, because you are unable to help others if you are not well cared for. So, understanding your own strengths comes from self-love, greater empathy for yourself and for others, being your own advocate, willing to speak up for yourself. Self-esteem. When you have self-esteem, you're not easily rattled by criticism, nor are you easily manipulated by flattery. And one of the results of self-love is self-empowerment. So let's talk a moment about mind viruses. The brain is a biological computer. It processes information. The brain has an innate negative bias. Neuroscientists call it the default mode network, or DMN for short. And they've actually been able to map the location in the human brain where that resides. And so what's the purpose of the DMN? It's to protect us from dangers. Our ancestors relied on it to survive. Because you hear a rustling in the bushes, and you think, oh, something's rustling in the bushes. No, you think, what is that? Is that a tiger? A bear? Or is it just a little songbird? So the brain draws conclusions, often on a flawed premise. The old computer axiom, garbage in, garbage out. If your input is flawed, the output will also be flawed. Say, for instance, a child gets scolded by its parents. So the child could think, my parents scolded me, so there must be something wrong with me. Or I must be bad. Or maybe I'm unlovable. And the quote that I heard from Janneke, I don't know if you're familiar with Janneke's blog. It's called Wisdom from North. She's Scandinavian. And she said, your inner child does not want to be fixed. It just wants to be loved. So, how do we develop self-love? How can we change that inner dialogue? It begins with awareness. So listen to your self-talk. Catch yourself denying your self-love. Monitor your self-talk without judgment. And one of the things that Janneke talked about was flipping sentences. It's a simple technique. So if you find yourself using negative phrases like, I suck at this, change it to, this is an interesting challenge for me. Or if you say, oh, I'm a mess, how about changing it to, I am interesting and complex? I like that one too.
I do. Yes, great.
Or if you found yourself saying, I'm lousy at this, try, this is new to me and I'm in a learning process. How about, this is killing me? Try, this doesn't sit right with me. Or, this makes me sick. Try, this doesn't resonate with me. Or, I will probably fail at this. Could become, I'll give this a go. I'll give this a go. If you hear you're saying, yes, but, the but is seeking the problem. If you say, yes, and, the yes, and opens to the solution. So how would you talk to a good friend? Would you be encouraging or critical? If you see your friend, would you say, oh, hey, how are you doing? You look like crap today. No. No, not if you want to keep that friend. Or would you say, oh, wow, you've put on some weight. No. You would want to be gentle and encouraging with your friend. So be gentle and encouraging to yourself. One exercise you can do at home, look at yourself in the mirror each morning, give yourself a high five. in the mirror. And it's actually quite effective. I've tried it. And tell yourself you're loved. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are loved. You are loved. And look at yourself in the eye. Not your hair, not your wrinkles, not anything else. Look yourself in the eyes until you see God looking back at you. Okay? And you can put love notes around your house. Sticky notes work great. If you're in a hurry, you can put them, on your fridge, your mirror. I like to put a little soap on my fingers on the shower door and make a little heart on the shower door, and then when it steams up, the heart shows up. That's a fun one. And here's a little idea from Marissa Peer. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's a life coach. And she says the biggest disease affecting humanity is called I am not enough. So she recommends putting notes in your house that say, I am enough. And she recommended putting it or incorporating it into your computer password. And I found this to be really helpful because I tried that. And when Marcia was so sick, and I would get up on a work morning, get my shower, try to get Marcia out of bed, try to get her to eat breakfast, get her to take her medications, try to get her dressed, and get her in the car to her day program, and then get myself ready for work and get myself to work. And by the time I was at work, I was exhausted. And I would think, I can't do this. And then I'd get to my computer and I would type, I am enough. And I would just take a few deep breaths and go, I am enough. I am enough. And that really helped me a lot. So you want to choose beliefs that harmonize with your soul, that empower you. Be honest and authentic with yourself. Don't choose positive affirmations that your inner critic won't believe. Don't try to jump too high to start. You don't want to start with, I'm the best at everything I try. No. How about, I'm willing to try new things? Or, I will start meditating 2 hours a day. Maybe not. How about, I will meditate 3 minutes 5 days a week? That's doable. Self-forgiveness is important for self-love. Trust that you have always done the best you are capable of with the awareness you had at any time in your past or future. I'm going to repeat that. Trust that you have always done the best you were capable of with the awareness you had at any time in your past or future. There's nothing useful in guilt or self-blaming. Self-forgiveness, when you can forgive yourself for your past because you were doing the best you could, it's freeing and empowering. I want to talk a little bit. I saw a video of Bashar a few days ago, and he was talking about using fear as a tool for growth. Because a lot of times when we feel fear, we want to just like push it away, run from it, switch it, whatever. But he recommends using it as a tool, a 4-step process. 1, use it as a red flag to show you when your thoughts or beliefs are not in alignment with the truth of who you are. 2, if you continue on those negative thoughts or beliefs, you will create what you do not want. So, holding beliefs that something worse could or would or will happen leads to anxiety. It becomes chronic. If you keep holding on to that thought, it'll become chronic and turn into anxiety. But once you, so then step 3, ask yourself what BS, which means belief system. That's a little nugget from Suzanne Giesemann. So, what BS are you holding on to that does not serve you? What belief does not serve you? And ferret that out, then you can let it go. And then yesterday morning, I saw a little video by Martha Beck, who was a self-help person, and she was talking about how to stop anxiety, because there's a lot of anxiety going around the world right now. And she talked about the negative bias of the human mind, and she said one simple tool to stop anxiety in its tracks in the moment is to do something creative. And she said it doesn't have to be the arts. You don't have to write a song, do a painting, or anything like that. Just anything creative, even if it's make a sandwich. Okay? And that doing, that creating, that making something just cuts that anxiety off. And so that's something we could all utilize in our lives. So, as I was studying for this talk, I listened to an interview, again from Yannicka, Wisdom from North. She was interviewing Sarah Landon. If you're familiar with her, she channels the council. So Yannicka asked the council, how do I learn to love myself? And the council, and I was taking notes from the video, so it's not exact, but this is the gist of it. The council said, you are love. It's the basis of your being. You learned how to deny yourself love. Others taught you to deny yourself of the truth of who you are. It's a habit. So notice when you deny yourself love. Shift it to, I know who I am, I know who I am, I know who I am. You already are everything you wish to be. You came here to witness your own becoming your own creation. Celebrate it all, your beautiful body, your consciousness, everything that you are. You are the energy and consciousness that creates the world, your reality, your life. We are spirit, we are life, we are loved, so very, very loved. And then Yannicka asked another question, well, what is self-love? And the council answered, basically, it's who we really are. Play with it. Catch yourself denying love to yourself. The old habits. How does your body feel when you deny yourself love? It feels tense, tight, and uncomfortable. So I want to lead us in a short meditation. So if you would just sit, close your eyes, take in a big, deep, full breath, and very slowly let it out. Take in another big, full breath, and slowly let it out. If you want, focus on the energy of your heart. Feel how your heart feels under your hand. Feel the love that's there. The love and the light. Now imagine the light that is within you, that is you. Imagine that light growing. It spreads throughout your chest. It spreads throughout your limbs, into your head. It spreads beyond your body. It spreads through your whole energy field. Imagine it spreading out farther than you can reach with your body, becoming bigger and brighter. Imagine yourself glowing brighter than the sun, and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Just stay with that image for a moment. And now bring your awareness slowly back to your heart. Feel the love that is there for you. That is who you are. That's the essence of you. Take a few more deep breaths. Come back into your awareness of yourself in this room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And now I have a brief channeled message from my guides, what they wanted you to know today. The truth about you is that you are a beautiful soul, a spark of divine light. Love is who you really are, a shining light among so many other light beings, like fireflies on a summer evening, each creating a beautiful golden glow, and together, magical. Love comes naturally to you. Love feels normal to you. Can you feel the worthiness of yourself? You deserve to be loved. You deserve to feel love every time you see yourself in a mirror, and to know the power, the divine power you possess. You are so dearly loved. Thank you.